Hi everybody, Carol here. Today I'm showing another picture of my panda cat because this stamp set is Party Like a Panda. So I'll get started and show you that I'm using the flocked paper that's in the kit, and I cut out a panda bear with the die that's in the kit, and this definitely has a texture to it, and so I'm putting the little pieces together to show you how you poke out the eyes and poke out the little dot in the eye and the nose and all kinds of things like that. And I'll be putting him together and put his ears on, and actually I'm going to glue him down onto a sheet of paper and then cut him out, and there's a reason, and I'll show you why in a minute. And so, but that's what he looks like in the flocked. Now the reason is because I'm using this embossing folder by We Are Memory Keepers and the name of it is Stripe, and I'm using the one that's like a burst, and I'm going to put a lot of different colors of yellow and red and orange colors like that all on both sides of this embossing folder, and I'll run it through my machine with a sheet of paper between it, and then you will get color on both sides by doing that way, and you can actually choose which side you like better. But it just takes a minute. I'm using makeup sponge here and trying to get good coverage, and it's interesting how it turns out. You never know exactly what you're going to get so until you pull it out. So a little touch of red as well, and it went on really strong, so I went back and tried to smooth that out. And so when it comes through the machine and you open it up, you get to see what you got, and it came out more pale than I thought. So I'm going to go back and touch it up again with some color and make it darker. And this is definitely embossed and has ridges, and so that is the reason I put the panda up on paper, so that when I glue him it'll be easier to glue him as all one piece because of these ridges. You don't always hit every high spot. So I'll just cut this coloring short and show you. In the end I end up making two. And so I also want to show how I go around the edges with some neutral ink and how it does make a difference. It takes the white off that edge. I did two sides there for you to see, and then I'll zoom in and let you see the difference that it makes. And then I'll also, there's going to be a backing paper here that's gold, and did it also. Now I'm just using one little stamp. It's a crown out of this Stamping Up set. It's called Elementary Elements or something. I'm sorry, I don't remember, but I stamped this crown and cut it out, and now here I am actually gluing. I set those other pieces aside to glue with Tombow Mono Multi Glue, and then after it dries it's repositionable, and that makes life easier for me. And so I'm gluing all of these down onto this piece of white cardstock, as I said earlier, so that I can cut it out. And then there is this little crown, and since I just have it on the edge of his body, of his head there, it didn't stick all that well, so I went ahead and made a little pad back behind the crown so it would be the same level as the part that's on his head, and that will make it stick better. It has more to stick to, so without pushing the top of the crown back onto the white paper and making it uneven. So maybe you can tell by looking, but it makes it look a lot better. So I will go ahead and cut this out, and I wouldn't normally have to do this on a flat card, but it is just because of the ridges. So I'm going to put it together. I'm starting with a piece of red paper, and it's 6 3/4 by 7 1/2, and the yellow is 6 by 6 1/2. And I'm showing the other piece that I made, and you could choose which one you liked better. Now I wanted to say King Panda, and I had this old strip of from Sizzix. It's a die with the alphabet on it, and it's called Naturally Serif alphabet. And so I'm just showing you how it's a long die. So I don't have a long machine, so I run it through in 2 different parts. There you go, Naturally Serif. And so I got the letters that I needed to say King Panda, and then and that's where our cat was. He's king of the house. So anyway, so I'm taking a strip of yellow paper here because this will make it easier, at least for me, to line the letters up. And they're not perfect, but at least it gives them a base. I'm lining them up with the bottom edge of the yellow, and I do go back and do a little tweaking in a minute, but there's the king. And that strip is the width of the starburst, sunburst, whatever you want to call it. And so it'll fit just right below that, and you'll see in a minute when I put it on there. But just one at a time. I've just put glue at the bottom of the letters just to be sure they adhere to that yellow strip. And so then there's Panda. And I will have to go back and put the dot for the I, and I'm going to move the K over a little bit. And but anyway, so that's what I do now. I had that glued down temporarily with a repositionable glue so that I could hold it steady. So I chose this particular starburst or sunburst or whatever, and now here goes the King Panda. The yellow strip just fits beautifully right beneath the sunburst, or the starburst, or the bright lights. And then here comes King Panda, and I'm going to put him right in the middle. And I just love the way this worked out. It was just kind of an accident. I had a sunburst, and I thought, Panda. So I was using a little bit of the glitter pen that came in the kit also. It doesn't show up too much. It's very faint, but when it catches the light, it shows up. Now, some other word stamps that were in the kit were hip hip hooray, hooray, let's celebrate. So I just thought, well, I'm going to go around the edge of the red on just the 3 sides and stamp those words. There you go. You can see them. And, of course, then the bottom is where the King Panda is. So here we go. I'm going to fit that on to the red so that you can see the words. And you really can't see them unless you're up close because it's so small. But if someone is holding this in their hands, they definitely can see it. Then I just decided to back it with some black, and I thought that looked good. Now, quickly, we'll move right on to the next card. This is a Sidestep card. I'm showing a diagram of the cuts and the folds. And if you need to go back and look at this later or need to pause, it's there for you. It is... it will fold up to be a 5x7 card. I'm just showing that I cut it. There's a point where you have to cut, and normally you cut from that 4-inch line down to the 1-inch line. But I went ahead and cut on this sample all the way through, but you will have to go back and tape it together at the bottom when it's done. But here's what I do. I put it onto my scoreboard. I do my measurements, whether it's the 5-inch mark or the 4-inch mark, and then the little 1-inch marks. I won't go into all of that just now, but if you take it back and look at it again and can read the measurements, it'll make more sense to you. But all of these folds, with the exception of the one cut, they all, believe it or not, they all come together and work. So that one I folded and burnished. The little pleat down at the bottom, I burnish. The one on the side, I burnish, and that's what happens. It stands up like that, and that's why it's called a Sidestep card. Now I need to decorate this thing, and so I'm using some stamps, the party hats, the packages in different colors, and I'll cut them out. I will not use all of them, but I wasn't sure which ones I wanted to use. So I'll save those for another day. And then this was just a little sample of Panda up there. I will stamp him off on some cardstock. And then these are pieces of pattern paper I'm going to put on there. You will see that all come together in just a minute. And then I stamped Happy Birthday. So here we go. This is the way this works. That's a 2-inch strip on the side. This is 5 inches, that little piece. Then the 1-inch strip at the bottom, and then the pleat 1-inch strip. You don't have to do this, but I just had that piece of red and I thought I'll put that on there. Now these are all the little pieces I'm going to use. I pulled in some balloons also. Panda's has a piece of cake there. I'm going to color his cake and I tried to coordinate the colors with the pattern paper. Yellow cake with pink frosting. Even shaded the little balloons on the side, which I did in the other video also. And then I took my Jelly Roll pen white to make stripes on the teal colored hat. And so we'll start putting it all together. There's the panda with his cake. We'll put the hat on his head there, his party hat. Then for decorations, I have to go back. I made some marks where to place these, and I had to erase them. Changed it up a little bit, and I'll continue to change it up and tweak it a little bit, but a big package, a small package. Bring in some balloons, the blue, the teal balloon, and the pink. Those were colors that came in the kit. Some people got the pink. I got the lime green, but I had some pink left from another kit. Put on the Happy Birthday sign and go back and trim it off, as well as the star balloon. And then, in order to keep the card from just splatting apart, I make these little strips of paper and fold them under a 1/4 inch or so on the edges, on the ends, and fold it in half so that the card can fold up and go in an envelope, but at the same time it won't stretch out any further. That got off camera, I'm sorry, but did the same thing on the other side so that it won't go any further than that strip will allow. Now this is an A7 card, 5x7, and it will fit in an envelope. I just wanted to show you. Easy mailing. And so there is a good use of the pattern paper and the stamps. And I think it's very festive and very cute. And I think anybody would be tickled to receive this card. Also, of course, you can write on the back if you need to leave a message. So now we'll go on to the next card, and this is using the little panda celebrating for his birthday. I'm just showing how I'm stamping off one of the stamps. It says party time, and so I'm stamping that, and then there are a bunch of little stamps that are confetti and stars and all kinds of things like that. And so I made use of a lot of them and spread them around. And then I'm going to put this all together, and this shows the measurements again of the card. You can look at it and go from there or make it your own. But I put that down, and real quickly I'll show you. These are the stamps that I used. The little confetti and lines and all of that, they're all in the kit. Then I cut some strips of black. Very little of this black will show, but I just put it there for an edging for the pattern paper that you'll see. So some at the top, some at the bottom, just to frame that little picture of the partying panda. And then this piece of pattern paper and this piece of pattern paper. They have the same colors. They're both stripes. One's diagonal, one's straight up and down. Then I go back and color in these little pieces and strips of confetti with the same colors that are in the pattern paper. So there you have it. I'm rushing through it. Of course, I wanted to show that I drew some lines, some measurements, and then I had cut a little strip off of each one of those pattern paper, and they were sitting there, and I thought, I wonder what that would look like if I just put it down the center of the opposite paper. And so I liked it, and so it stuck. And so I measured that as to where to put it, and I'll show you how I measured it. This is easiest for me to take it to the scoreboard, make an indentation, and then go back and fill in that indentation with the pencil. Otherwise, if you try to just do the pencil, you can't follow the line very well. But that's a lot of times how I measure things. And so just showing that it's a card that you can write on the inside. Now that was originally the way I did it, and then later I thought, you know, I think I would like it better if the colors were reversed. So I put the bold up and down stripes at the top and the vertical stripes at the bottom, and I like it better. It's not that big a deal, but I just wanted to show you how I changed it. So that is everything. There are the still shots of these 3 cards, all bright colors. I love the King Panda since we had the Panda Cat. But I hope you enjoy, and there's some videos at the end you might like to see, and I would love it if you subscribe, but you know, whatever you want to do, or a thumbs up. So thank you so much, and plan to see you real soon. Bye-bye.